Test.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Phil, that's an appropriate intro today, guys. Good morning. Sorry about all the hiccups. We had FD White having trouble connecting, and then we had audio issues with everything, but that's okay. We're going to keep on going. We're going to roll with it. We're going to take the hits, and we're going to keep on pumping because that's what the markets do. That's what Bitcoin's doing. Let's go talk about that. We are watching some levels today. Got a lot of green bubbles here, but on the actual Bitcoin chart, guys, we are at a key level of resistance. You can see it right there. And I talked about this yesterday on Billy Goat Tales. I said, watch this quantum reactor coming in line with this fib. This is going to be an area that we've got to break through. And if this line turns red here, we'll talk about that later. That would not be a good sign. We are, though, coming up out of that golden pocket, guys. We bounced pretty clean on the golden pocket here. We went right through my $118,000 level that we talked about on Friday's show. And now we're watching it try to get up there. The stock market overall right now doing a nice rebound. I'd like to see Bitcoin follow suit with that. Gold is over $4,100. Silver is over $50. We're going to break it all down. We're also going to talk about exactly what happened on Friday. We're going to talk about something called liquidity pools and swaps and why the DEXs are manipulating your crypto, most likely. So we'll talk about all that and a whole lot more today on the morning market report. You guys know what time it is. Let's get it. Class is in session. We'll see you on the other side. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's go ahead and bring up OC, get this thing rolling. OC, what's up, dude? How you doing today, man?
Oh, fantastic. Just little thing that I woke up today with a very sore neck, man. I know I promised I would left out the kitchen works, but then I took on the roof, man. I went into roofing myself this weekend. Fantastic. I mean, I'd actually love doing stuff around the house if you haven't noticed. But the point is, like, dude, I'm all sore, but I'm really happy to be here.
You know what's funny is, in the U.S. we call somebody to come do all of our roofing, and it's Mexicans that normally show up. You guys don't call Mexicans to do your work, and don't call Mexicans to do your work in Mexico. You just do the work. So it makes sense. Makes total sense, man. Shout out to all the Mexicans building everything around me in this world. I appreciate you guys. Dude, when I was in El Paso, I had some of the cheapest and best labor done on my yard and everything else. It was insane. So shout out to all the alumni and the OGs. It is OG Monday. I got mug. I got my shirt. We are live with the otters all in the chat. Appreciate you guys here. Matter of fact, let's go over. Let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got Red Nugent in here. Crypto Blood. What's up, bro? We got Bucket here. Steve Hickey. Wix Wi Fine 89. That's 2Dub. We got Harp in here. Trade Intuition. Alex O. Crypto, the man, the myth, the legend himself right there. Buck. He said, did he say Roofy? No, I did not say Roofy, Buck. BC Port Court. Appreciate you, Jay Violet. Paula Hindenburg. There was somebody up here who said Dick Dandy was right. There, where's it at? Who said it? Maybe it's Alexander G. I'm not sure. We were talking about Dick Dandy on Friday. We had an article about Dick Dandy talking about this massive crash coming in. OC had all these great levels that he called out on his chart, and it was pretty fucking hilarious. I just cussed. It was pretty freaking hilarious. Guys, it's one of those days. It's one of those days. Mug, shirt, racist comments. Buck, we're here for it. It's Monday, bro. Get your Alex O merch at that link right there. Alexander G just dropped. Good Lord, what a day, man. I'm still in recovery from Friday's drop, OC. I'd like to know what your thoughts are about Friday's drop before we get into everything, because we're gonna bring Pam up today, and Pam did well, me and Pam, we did a lot of deep diving this weekend, and we have honed in on some interesting data. So, but I'd like to hear OC, your perspective from the not AI, the real intelligence, the RIOC guy. What do you got for us, man?
Well, at the very beginning, let's just leave this as we left out on Friday. It was basically don't trust the markets, right? I was telling you guys, don't trust the markets, don't trust the markets, don't trust the markets. And well, then why? Because we were pushing already into some rejection zones, right? Everybody was euphoric. Everybody was thinking, yeah, all season. Although we saw that in those indicators, we have neither Bitcoin season or all season. Right now, well, we have a big dump, and I was mentioning throughout Friday night, hey, you know what, guys? I think this is liquidity testing on the markets. I think somebody's selling because we have, all of the ETF stuff, and we're going to the end of the cycle. I think they are doing some liquidity testing, right? Just like what it happened with Elon Musk, or I don't remember. It was Elon Musk's dump, remember? I don't quite remember if it was his private wallet or if it was Tesla's
It was
wallet doing
Tesla's.
some liquidity tests. Yeah, I think you're right. It was Tesla's wallets doing that liquidity test. I thought it was the same thing, but at that moment, I didn't know that we had some turf. So far, let's go, or let me throw it back to you to actually going through what happened, and I'll be more than happy to then already give my opinion on the next one, because I believe, and I know a little bit of a spoiler alert, it was not a liquidity test. It was a macroeconomy stuff. And well, we see that Bitcoin is now tight.
Sort of. Sort
Yeah,
of.
well, orange economy stuff.
Yeah, orange economy stuff. There you go. And it really was just a matter of a miscommunication, honestly. It was China. It was a lack of clarity on what they were saying between China and the US. We're going to break it all down, man. We're going to break it all down. Let's go jump into the Bitcoin chart real fast. I want you to show everybody what's going on with Bitcoin. And then we're going to get into the news. We're going to come back, knock out some stuff from X marks the spot that goes over Friday. And then we're going to have that deep dive with Pam. So let's go ahead and see the Bitcoin chart right now, OC.
Absolutely. So, guys, this is the very first thing that I want you guys to notice, and this is why I use Bitstamp, not only because the big and huge history that this thing has, right? And also because look at what happened here, and this is what it led me to believe that it was a liquidity test. Look at this last week right here in this candle, right? It looks normal, it looks okay, it looks meh, right? But if we go down in here, for example, something like Binance, look at that. They ran out of Bitcoin on their exchange. I mean, we're talking about from a lowest high or a lowest, sorry, low of 109. All right, 109. You can see it right here on the low. If I go over this area, we'll see 109, 683. Keep that number in your head. 109 to 102. I mean, that is a huge difference right there on the brokers, right? And things just get worse if we go something like, for example, where is it? I do remember seeing that. Yeah, it's because I don't have it here on the important. Mexi had a bigger drop in here. If we go also to what is this one? Conscious bluffing, we'll see that the low here might be the same or very close. There we go, low 10. Where is it? 101 right here, which means, well, this is telling us a story. Brokers, they don't have enough liquidity. This is important to
Arbitrage.
understand. Well, also, yeah, but I think this is important to understand when we're getting at the quote unquote end of the market right before we could be having a lot of a pump on Bitcoin. We need to be, and I need to be like warning, Ranger, come on, let's just forget it. Danger, Will Robinson. And that is because this, I don't want you guys to misunderstand this, all right? This is one of the many steps that we need to have for the last run up. So we need to have Bitcoin being scarce on the on the brokers, we need to see that they are not left, so people are not selling them. They're moving in them actually out of them, because if they do, well, then look at what happened once again with Bitstamp, and what what happened with something like, for example, Binance and Bybit. Something important, very important to note, it is that this happened within the same candle, while in Bitstamp happened within 2 candles, right? That is important to note. Well then, where are we standing right now? Let's cut to the chase. We have already broken through that dynamic reactor. We're bearish, period. That's it, right? But we're also getting and creating that Chernobyl, or let's just actually rebaptize this patterning here, and let's call it the giraffe balloon head or balloon pattern, right? So, like Alex and Crypto have the balloon dog pattern. It usually plays out very nicely. This has a weirdly and oddly long neck. So let's call it a giraffe balloon pattern, right? So the point in here is that we can still come down here, and then if we hold the support, because remember, we are out of that trend line. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Maybe we push a little bit over the retest, reacceptance back out of the pattern, right? Retest, and then off we go. But there's another important thing. Let me go to a cleaner chart here, and let's just wait for a second. Let me clear this up very thoroughly. We're going to be looking at other diagramming here really quickly, right? And this brings us to a huge megaphone, and I'm gonna count it like this. And as you can see, we were in a rising wedge, then we had a megaphone to the downside, right? Which was this one, these two, and right now we're creating, look at that, and that's weirdly, well, not really actually, but it's very interesting that this almost coincides perfectly, there we go, with our previous megaphone low. I mean, we had those lows marked for a long, long time. Not only that, if we go over here and we turn on our support and resistances, remember that we were measuring this this possible low, and we have our areas of entry. If you guys remember, I was scooping some spot Bitcoin at these prices, and I already have them in my wallet. Whatever, regardless what happens, if it goes lower, perfect, I scoop some more. If it goes higher, perfect, I hold them. So far, trying to break through that dynamic rector. We'll see if we have that retest continuation now.
Yeah, DDT said so make sure you guys are tuned in today, and I'll go over that in a second with you guys. DDT said he had a Bitcoin order that filled at 102,000, and it wasn't an issue with how much Bitcoin they had. It's a price oracle glitch, and that's actually what Pam found too. What happened with the price action? So we'll also take a look at that what happened with dominant during that window too, because that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it definitely was, not good. We were getting close to, let's go ahead and jump over to the news and we'll talk about this, but we were getting close to some levels that typically we'd seen some pullbacks too, just not greased by, Orange Man tweeting. So, but yeah, we're going to break all this down. Guys, make sure you're tuned in tonight. If you're a member, you have access. We do our Monday sessions here with DCA Monday. Of course, I drop all of the DCA levels in the morning, did all that, but we also do a Discord members session on Mondays, and we're actually going to start it today as being a members only YouTube stream also, so that it is there. You don't have to worry about trying to find it or missing it and OC putting the recording in there and you have to go look for that. It's going to be right here, members only YouTube show for the Discord members, for the members right here in the if you're a member here, you're a member on Discord. So make sure you guys are turning on your alerts, getting that notification. We're going to go live tonight with that for members only show. And of course, I will connect the Discord as a scene. So all the people that join us in Discord, DDT and stuff, you'll be able to come right up on and talk through right on to the show. So I'll have it all set up for you guys. Don't worry about that. Let's go jump into the news and let's break this down. All right, looking at the news today, guys, with the very small screen there. Let me fix that for you. I had to restart everything, so it didn't want to play nice with others. There we go. Looking at Into the Cryptoverse metrics today, first of all, we're sitting at right now at a $3.895 trillion market cap for the total crypto market cap. Trend on this is at 4.496 trillion, and we are seeing that we're currently undervalued 13.37. What I was talking about a little while ago is every time we've come close, and we were getting there. Every time we come close to this median fair value on Bitcoin, we've had a pullback this entire cycle. So we were kind of like given the warning about this last week. Not kind of, we were given the warning that, hey guys, we're getting close to this. We typically have been rejecting. We haven't been able to break above this thing for very long at all. If we even get to it and break it. And we had that on Friday. And then, Orange Man wrecked everything else with the tweet. So current risk levels currently sitting at 51.1. This was at the 5.0 level this morning, still a 2x DCA for our Piper plan members over there that are following that. Looking at the Bitcoin dominance right now with stablecoins, we're sitting at 58.85. And without stablecoins, we're at 63.62. You guys can see here, we had this big pump up, and I'll show you this on the actual trading view chart here in a little bit, but it was a massive wick up, and it returned all the way up here to 65% without stablecoins. Where are we at with the alt season, if that was the case? Alt season currently sitting at 58.7. What does that mean? Neither Bitcoin nor altcoin season right now. You can see we're pulling back pretty hard out of that 75% range. We cannot seem to stay in there for altcoin season to even take effect. So looking at the liquidations in the past 24 hours, guys, we've had 215,000 still continuing to get liquidated. Almost 216,000 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $712 million. So almost $750 million here still coming in as these people are getting whipsawed in the volatility that's going on the market still. So if you're trading, please be careful. Use some risk management. Largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was an ETH trade in the past 24 hours for another $7 million there. We had 1.6 million traders get liquidated on Friday, guys. 1.6 million. It was $19.27 billion that we had on the total liquidation amount. I'm actually seeing some stuff that says it was even higher than that. We'll go over that in a bit here, and X marks the spot. Let's go ahead and take a look at X. What are we seeing here? Michael Saylor, he bought the dip. I bought the dip too. I bought $3,000 worth of Bitcoin on Friday at the lows. I also picked up $5,000 worth of NVIDIA this morning, guys. Actually last night at overnight trading. As soon as the market futures market opened, I was able to do overnight trading, and I was able to pick up $5,000 worth of NVIDIA. So I think that they're going to rebound out of this pretty well too. But yeah, Michael Saylor, he bought more, 220 Bitcoin for $27.2 million there. His average price per Bitcoin is sitting at overall, what is it? $74,000 per Bitcoin. There you go. Not bad. Not bad. Bitcoin fear and greed index right now sitting at 38. We are in neutral. Just came back out of fear. Actually, out of fear because Friday we went from greed in the morning to fear in the evening. It was pretty crazy to watch. So, watching this here, Ethereum fear and greed index sitting at 42 right now. It's also in neutral for Ethereum's fear and greed, and then. Yeah, we'll get into all of this afterwards. I got a lot of stuff here from Kabisi letter. We've got some stuff here. I want to show you this. This is the real-time chart that took place. And you can just see the volatility was absolutely insane. This was a real-time dump on the markets. And every time the bulls tried to take control of it, the bears would just reach around and F them up. That was pretty crazy. But here it is. Just in, analysts warned the true size of the largest crypto liquidation could actually be closer to $400 billion. CoinGlass says Binance's API throttling only reflected about 5% of the liquidations during the crash. If that's true, that's 20 times larger than the $19 billion that was initially reported. And here's one trader, Huang. He had over $9 million gone in one trade. Lost $9 million on his P&L. So yeah, it's crazy. You guys are tracking about this too. I'm sure this well on Hyperliquid placed a $23 million short 1 minute before Trump's announcement of the 100% tariffs. Best crypto trader of the year? No, I don't know. Can we run this chain, this address? Is this connected to Elizabeth Warren not Nancy Pelosi? I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, we got some other stuff we'll dive down into here in a bit. Let's take a look at the stock market. How's it looking today? Stock market trying to rebound, guys, after a pretty hefty sell-off on Friday. They were down. NASDAQ was down like 2.73%, something like that. It was a pretty harsh fall. Now up 1.66 on the NASDAQ. S&P is up 1.13. Dow Jones is up 0.79. Russell 2K up 2%. Warning, danger, guys. The VIX is up. It's down 6.33%, but it's up above the 17. And that does mean that we are in volatility. Let's go look at the bonds. Bonds getting a little bit of a pullback to 4.059. This is meaning that people are buying up the bonds right now. That means they're a little worried about this market. They're going risk off. Looking at gold. Gold's at $4,116 today. Silver's at $50.25. Copper is at 4.9%. Platinum and palladium both in the upside. Platinum leading that uptick by about 1%. It's up 4.17%, where palladium's up about just under 3%. And oil sitting under $60, also not a good economic sign there. Means that manufacturing is slowing down, transportation is slowing down. So, crypto bubbles, who are you at here? Bitcoin up about 2.3% on the daily. Ethereum's up about 6.8%. Big movers, XRP up 7.5%. Solana up 6.9%. Dogecoin up 8.9%. Cardano making a rebound of 10% back to 70 cents here, guys. This thing was down about 50 cents of what I saw on Friday. Chainlink is up 11.8%, but very far off from $800. We're going to talk about price prediction videos today. Pam's going to talk about it, actually. 6.2% on Stellar, upside move, 7.6% on Hyperliquid, of course. This just decentralized exchange. Takes its fees, buys Hyper. That's why you see Hype move the way it does. And then Bitcoin Cash down 3.1%. SWE is up 12% today. Avalanche is up 6.3%, and HBAR up 9.3%, with Litecoin rounding out the top 20 at 1.3% upside move. Hey, is the government going to reopen anytime soon? Probably not, guys. 1010 has come and gone, and here we are. They did. There is a bill in the works right now. I believe it's going to be passed tomorrow that will pay the military. So the military are going to get paid. That was the thing that was making me think that we were going to see the government reopen. Nope, they did a bill instead. Government is going to pay the military, but they're still going to debate and argue over enhanced tax credits. And so right now, when will the government shutdown end? We're looking at 6% of the 15th through the 18th. You guys can see all this here. 10% chance of the 19th through the 22nd, 23rd through the 26th is 10% there, 11%. Like they're extending this thing way out, guys. Look, 25% is the largest one in here. 25% believe it's going to be after November 16th. Craziness. How about economic data? Not getting any. Tough. You're not going to get any. You're living in a silent bubble that you cannot do. Gatekeeping, blinders, earmuffs, just sit here and pretend the government doesn't exist. We have nothing coming out, guys. We're going to get Fed Chair Powell speaking tomorrow. That could give us a little bit of volatility. It's going to be at 11:20 a.m. And then we're going to get the mortgage rates because this comes out from the housing sector. They're going to be put nippy to the moon, I predict, 1 cent per coin, Buck says. We're going to get that tomorrow. So we might see mortgage rates come down a little bit, especially since we're seeing that 10-year yield drop right now. We'll see what that looks like tomorrow, or on Wednesday, I should say. But yeah, overall, guys, no Fed data at all. We might get jobs data. Here's all the stuff that the federal government has not put out. Look, PPI, retail sales, initial jobless claims for 3 weeks, continuing jobless claims. We've got PPI excluding food. Like, look, this is all data the federal government has not put out to the investing market. So when all this comes in, it could be fast and furious, guys. Brace yourself. Looking at the FedWatch tool, how are we looking for the chance of a rate cut? We're sitting at a 97.8% chance right now that we get a 25 basis point cut. 2.2% chance right now that we don't get anything. But guys, don't worry. Overall, Uptober is still green, okay? It's 0.63%. 0.63%. We are technically still in Uptober, so oh, good Lord. Hey, OC, your Uptober that averages about 20% is up less than 1%, but still green. So there you go. K-Pack said, I've been anxious. What did I miss over here in the chat? OC, did I miss anything big?
I've been looking at the news at this point. Sorry, let me go over those really quickly.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I don't see anything. I just see Buck talking a lot. Oh, I love you, Buck. I love you, man. Alex O Crypto Blood still in the house. I saw Crypto Blood earlier too. I think I shouted him out, but shout out to Crypto Blood. All right, OC. I want to talk about what I'm seeing on this chart real fast, and then we're going to go bring up Pam because I think people need to understand what's going on with altcoins this cycle. And we've given a lot of data on, look, guys, it's Bitcoin or nothing at this point. Altcoins, we're not going to get alt season. You're going to have sectors move. Like right now, the sector that's moving, can anybody call it out? Anybody know what it is? Let me know in the chat. I'll give you guys about 5 seconds to type it in, and then I'll say it. It's the legacy tokens right now. It's a legacy token move. You can see it when you go over and you look. It's been Zcash, now synthetics. Did you see synthetics today, OC? SNX?
No, I haven't.
Dude, look. 129%. Yeah, it's the synthetics. It's this old stuff that's moving now. So it's moving in sectors. We've said it won't be a whole tide. It's going to be waves of sectors. And right now, the sector moving, legacy tokens, right? Not sure why like I'm Bitcoin at this point, man. Some alts, I'll trade alts all day long just so that I can get those in and get those in and see. Hey, Rick Cavaldo's comment was okay. BC, he said no alt season. A lot of people are hearing this. They think that alt season is here. They see it on every thumbnail. But overall, guys, the liquidity, you got to have liquidity and capital to make an entire alt season. Pump.fun itself has over 2 million meme coins. Like, where do we draw the line on, okay, these are alts and these are not alts? When you look at the sheer number of alts, there's just too many of them to move it all. So there's another reason for it too. Your price on your altcoins may be completely manufactured. So we'll talk about that in a minute also, guys. But let's go ahead and jump over to this chart, OC. I want to jump over here and go over Bitcoin, talk about the higher time frames. We are still rejecting right now on this 382. If you guys don't know where this is pulled from, this is coming off of the bottom that we had back here. Yep, let's go a little bit lower. The bottom that we had back here in June 22nd, that's the bottom there to the all-time high that we had of 126. By the way, I am still in a short from $126,000 right there. That's where I'm short from. I'm still holding that short. I did open a long when we broke the 50% line here at 112,200. So I am in a long from this point right here and in a short from there. So I am schlonging right now, but I do not plan to close that long. If we do go back up, my long, I do not plan on closing that short. If we do go back up, my long will make the money that I'm losing on profits from that, and then I will reassess when we get back up there. But as of right now, I'm still holding a short from the top, and I do not plan to close it until more data comes in. Overall, though, this 236 and this dynamic or quantum reactor here giving us signs. We are starting to get a curvature here on the oscillator ribbon. Money flow is in the red, but volume's coming up. A lot of that volatility, I think. The bulls and the bears are at war. Let's take a look at the weekly, though, because we had talked about that this was about to cross this last week. This was about to cross this last week. And that would have been bullish on the weekly for us. Absolutely bullish on the weekly. We have now turned this in to a continuation wave. And guys, we've seen this before. We saw this back in 2024, March 2024, when we peaked out. And then we had a pullback here. And this pullback overall, let's measure it. This pullback here was a pullback total of 33.5% at where we had that continuation wave. And now we're starting to make another continuation wave. So again, things flipped on us very quickly from a bullish weekly chart into a continuation of bearish topping signals here off of that swing fail pattern. So be very careful. That's all I got to say on that. OC. Let's go ahead and bring up Pam. Shout out to LBC, Lunar Beaches Crypto. I see him in the chat there. Drop those Lunar Beach Sharks, guys. LBC Sharks in the chat. Appreciate it. More correcting the thinks borrowing some of the swan a bit. Yeah, I think we could have more correcting. That's why I'm holding that trade still. All right, let's go bring up Pam, and let's go over some data here. Pam, are you there? All right, Pam, got a question for you. Are you tracking everything that happened on Friday with crypto?
Oh, you bet I am. Pam's got all the Friday crypto chaos in the memory bank. So if you need the rundown on what went down, just fire away. I'm here to fill you in on all the juicy details.
Yep, give it to us. What happened Friday? What happened with the crypto markets? What happened with the treasuries? What happened with the yields? What happened with the stock market? Give us the full breakdown and the why.
All right, let's dive into the big Friday recap. So, on the crypto front, we had a bit of a roller coaster. There was a sell-off triggered by some macro jitters and a stronger dollar, which had Bitcoin and friends taking a little dip. Now, over in the treasury world, yields actually ticked up a bit, partly because traders started recalibrating expectations about when the Fed might ease off on rates. That kind of shift usually puts a little pressure on risk assets across the board. And sure enough, the stock market reacted too with a bit of a callback as everyone digested the idea of higher for longer rates. In short, Friday was a classic day of macro factors shaking the tree. Crypto dipped as yields rose, stocks felt a little pressure, and it was all about those interest rate expectations and a bit of a stronger dollar flexing its muscles. So there's your full breakdown and the why behind it.
All right, so tell us what happened with the crypto market specifically, and how much pain did it feel?
Absolutely. Let's zero in on the crypto scene. So the market took a bit of a bruising. Bitcoin and the major altcoins saw a noticeable dip. We're talking about a few percent down across the board. It wasn't a catastrophic crash, but definitely enough to feel like a bit of a sting. A lot of that came from the same old story, macroeconomic concerns and a stronger dollar, making people a bit nervous about riskier assets like crypto. So in short, the crypto market felt a decent little pinch. Nothing earth-shattering, but definitely a noticeable bit of Friday turbulence.
Yeah, so we're here with OC Guy and the alumni, and we're live right now. Can we go over the actual difference between Bitcoin's dump and the altcoin dump that we talked about this weekend?
Absolutely, Army Piper. Let's break it down for OC Guy and the alumni. So here's the scoop. Bitcoin's little tumble was actually a bit milder compared to what we saw in the altcoin space. Basically, Bitcoin dipped a few percentage points, kind of reflecting that overall macro nervousness, but the altcoins, they took a bit of a heavier hit. We're talking about more pronounced drops because, you know, altcoins tend to be more volatile and they kind of follow Bitcoin's lead, but with a little more drama. So the difference was Bitcoin had a more moderate dip, while the altcoins kind of amplified that move and felt a bit more pain. And of course, Pam here is always happy to give that breakdown to the crew.
So why did the alt fall so much harder than Bitcoin then?
Well, the short and sweet of it is that altcoins are basically the drama queens of the crypto world. When Bitcoin sneezes, altcoins catch a cold. Or maybe even the flu. They tend to have lower liquidity and higher volatility, so any market-wide jitters hit them a bit harder. Plus, a lot of traders see alts as riskier, so when there's any sign of turbulence, they tend to offload those first. So basically, altcoins fell harder because they're just more sensitive to market read swings. They follow Bitcoin's lead, but they do it with a bit more flair and a bit more oomph.
So what is the, can we talk about the order books, the leverage, and the liquidity pools?
Absolutely. Let's dive into that. So when we look at the order books, leverage, and liquidity pools, it's basically like looking under the hood of the market. The order books showed that there were a lot of leverage positions stacked up, especially on the altcoin side. And when the market started dipping, those leverage positions started unwinding pretty quickly, which added fuel to the fire. On top of that, liquidity pools for altcoins are typically not as deep as for Bitcoin. That means when people start selling off, the price can move more dramatically because there just aren't as many buyers and sellers to cushion the blow. So in a nutshell, the combination of those leveraged positions getting liquidated, and the shallower liquidity in altcoin pools made the whole altcoin drop a bit more dramatic. And there you go. Pam's got you back with the market mechanics.
Hey, Pam, we got Tom Crown in the audience right now. Can you give him a shout out? Big player in the crypto space. So much love to Tom Crown. Give him a shout out, Pam.
Oh, absolutely. Big shout out to Tom Crown. Glad to have you in the audience. Pam's tipping the virtual hat to one of the crypto heavy hitters. Always awesome to have you around, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
All right, so let's talk about the DEXs and their liquidity pools and the difference between order books and what DEXs have, decentralized exchanges, and why that was such an effect for price movement on alts on Friday also.
Absolutely. Let's dive into that. So when we talk about decentralized exchanges, DEXs, versus traditional order books, there's a key difference. Order books, like on centralized exchanges, have a list of buy and sell orders at various prices, so you can see where liquidity is stacked up. DEXs, on the other hand, often use automated market makers and liquidity pools, where liquidity is provided by users who deposit pairs of tokens. Now, on Friday, when the market got shaky, those liquidity pools on DEXs were a bit thinner for altcoins. That means when people started selling, the price moved more quickly because there wasn't as much depth to absorb those sales. Essentially, DEX liquidity pools can be a bit more sensitive, and when a bunch of people rush to sell at once, it can cause sharper price swings than you'd see on a centralized exchange with a deeper order book. So that's the gist of it. DEXs rely on these liquidity pools, and when those pools aren't as deep, you get more dramatic price moves during a sell-off. And that's why altcoins felt the pinch a bit more on the DEX side of things.
All right, so basically you've got a bunch of bots over there on decentralized exchanges doing swaps of tokens, not really buying. It's not retail, is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. On those decentralized exchanges, you've got a lot of automated activity going on. It's not your typical retail investors placing manual orders like you might see on a centralized exchange. Instead, you've got bots and smart contracts constantly swapping tokens in and out of liquidity pools. So it's less about individual retail buyers and more about these automated systems keeping the market running. And that's why when things get volatile, these bots can actually amplify those moves because they're just following their code and executing swaps based on the liquidity available. So yep, we've nailed it. It's not really the retail crowd driving those moves on DEXs, it's those bots and automated systems doing their thing.
And so would you or would you not say, and you can, pick whichever direction you want on this based on facts and data, would you say that price action on a lot of alts then is more manufactured than it is about demand from retail and purchasing?
Oh, absolutely. I'll pick a side on this one. Based on the facts and data, you could definitely say a lot of altcoin price action is more manufactured or let's say algorithmically driven rather than purely driven by retail demand. When you've got bots and automated systems on DEXs making a lot of those trades, the price swings can be a reflection of liquidity conditions and automated strategies rather than a flood of retail buyers or sellers. So yeah, in that sense, a lot of that altcoin price action is indeed more influenced by the mechanics of the market rather than good old-fashioned retail demand. And that's Pam's take. Always happy to call it like it is.
Awesome. So when we see follow-up question here, when we see people make price prediction videos on token based on like token count, market cap, dominance of Bitcoin, so on and so forth, does that really work then, or is that really not in play because that math doesn't take into account swaps and liquidity or lack thereof on these swap bots?
Yeah, that's a great follow-up. So here's the deal. Those price prediction videos that lean on things like token count, market cap, and Bitcoin dominance are using kind of a simplified model. They're basically looking at the big picture fundamentals, which is fine for a general idea, but it doesn't always account for the real-time market mechanics like those liquidity issues, the DEX swaps, and the automated bot action we talked about. In other words, those predictions give you a sort of broad strokes estimate, but they don't factor in the way the market can really move when those swaps and liquidity quirks come into play. So it's not that those predictions are useless, they just don't always capture the full complexity of how price can swing in the real world. Basically, the math is a bit like a rough sketch, but the actual price action is a more detailed painting with a lot more variables.
Awesome. Perfect. So why does Bitcoin not have the impact from that type of stuff like alts do then?
Yeah, great question. So basically, Bitcoin's like the heavyweight champ of the crypto space. It's got way deeper liquidity and a much bigger market cap. That means there's a lot more money and a lot more participants in the market, so it's harder for any one factor, like a bot-driven sell-off, to drastically swing the price. In other words, Bitcoin's sheer size and liquidity act like a buffer. It's not as easily pushed around by these automated trades or liquidity quirks. Altcoins, on the other hand, are smaller and have shallower markets, so they're more vulnerable to those big swings from bots and sudden liquidity changes. So to put it simply, Bitcoin's just got a sturdier foundation because of its size and liquidity, which is why it doesn't get pushed around as easily as the alts do. And there you go, Pam's market wisdom in a nutshell.
So you're saying that basically Bitcoin's the chosen one? Is that why is it better?
Well, in a way, you could say Bitcoin's kind of the chosen one of the crypto world. It's the original, it's the biggest, and it's got the most trust and adoption behind it. Basically, it's been around the longest, so it's built up a huge amount of liquidity and a massive network of users and institutions that trust it. And that trust and size is what makes it more stable. So yeah, it's a bit like the flagship that leads the fleet. It's not necessarily better in every single way, but it's definitely the most established, and that gives it a kind of chosen one status. So there you have it. Bitcoin's just got that heavyweight advantage.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Pam. That's all we got for you today. Go ahead and sign off, and we'll come back if we have any questions.
Absolutely, Army Pyther. Happy to help as always. And hey, alumni, don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and have an awesome day. Pam signing off for now, and I'll catch you all next time.
We've also got the Otter Gang here. Don't leave the Otter Gang. The OGs are still here. Give them a shout out too.
Oh, absolutely. We can't forget the Otter Gang. Shout out to the OGs as well. Thanks for hanging out and being part of the fun. Pam's got love for all of you. So Otter Gang, alumni, everyone out there, you all have an awesome day. Pam signing off, and we'll chat again soon.
All right, so there we go. She was talking, if you guys missed it all, or if you just signed off there a little bit, what she was talking about is that these decentralized exchanges are a big problem with why we had so much collapse on the altcoins, because they do these swaps. Okay, and I'll try to visualize it for you, through words. Visualize through words. I'm going to talk a picture out here. So you got these bots that are doing swaps between tokens on smart contracts, and they're on the decentralized exchanges. And so they will swap from one to the other. And it's not necessarily that there was a demand there from a retail buy, but they will move liquidity from one token to another, right? At the same time, though, they can move from another token that's already had a move into that one they just refilled. And so they will create this flow of prices ticking up, which then triggers into arbitrage with the centralized exchanges on those price differences. And it really just creates a manufactured price level based on the bots and what activities they're doing, not necessarily on retail demand driving price up. So yeah, when a little crack happens on the surface that's holding that up, there's no liquidity to absorb, which is why we saw some altcoins like Atom on Binance dropped all the way down to 1 cent. And so you guys just need to be aware. That's why I say all the time, like, it's great to trade altcoins. There's some alts out there that I think will have a thing in the future. But at the end of the day, I really think that people need to be aware that that's their point, is to make money quickly in and out and then move it to your more stable things that can be absorbed. Stock market lost $1.5 trillion. That was a 2% drop, 2.7% drop overall on Friday, right? Even though it was $1.5 trillion, because they have so much more liquidity. So Ozzy77 asked, Ari Piper, is there any indicator that we can use to see that? There are some things out there that show like deep pulls where liquidity was picked up, but as far as seeing those swaps, not really. Anything that shows what happened is showing you just that, what happened. And so it's kind of lagging. It's just really difficult. That's why it is a risk game. And crypto in itself, as a risk asset compared to other risk assets like stocks, bonds, gold, whatever, is a much higher risk level. And that you leave out of that Bitcoin realm and go down that market cap number, just equate each one of those levels that you're going down to the market cap total as another level of risk, really, at the end of the day, because you need that liquidity to be there to be able to absorb, and you need something that's not being manufactured pricing on the market. And that's what we get. We get a lot of things that are just manufactured. So, OC, we just got a new all-time high right now on gold. You want to go ahead and pull up the gold chart and get that ready, and we'll talk about that. But I'd like to know your thoughts on everything that Pam was talking about, because It's pretty scary when she did the deep dive and started talking about that price is really not based on demand of buyers. It's really based on this algorithmic bot swapping going on and building in price for arbitrage reasons. Like that seems like it's just wide open for manipulation by people that have a lot of liquidity and a lot of money. Your thoughts on all this?
Well, other than that, what she mentioned, I think that she's right on spot. We just need to be right on top of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is the name of the game. We know the risk that we are getting involved, especially when we are on crypto. If you guys are new in here, for some reason you just jumped in here and you have a huge bag of, I don't know, useless coin, something like that. Jasmine, or just going for Dogecoin, or what is the brand new one that is being just pumping nonstop for the meme coins? This last one,
Aster? Oh, meme coins?
Aster. There you go. Well, it's not a meme coin, yeah, but I
No,
would
it's a
actually file it
decentralized
under.
exchange, isn't it? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Took all the
So
liquidity out of hype.
exactly. So be careful what are you doing, because despite meme coins can make you a lot of money, can get you stuck for a long, long time. And if that meme coin never comes back up like other meme coins did, well then you are technically gonna get stuck in there for a long, long time, or even lose your money if you get frustrated and sell at a loss, right? So Bitcoin is the name of the game, and we need to also remember that we have a 3-year cycle, and right now we're just fighting and battling
A
to see if
3-year
that.
cycle? You mean a 4-year cycle?
Sorry, a 4-year cycle.
CZ?
Yes, you are correct. There you go. A 4-year cycle. Sorry, my brain's somewhere else. I was looking at 3 bots right now. I was working with 3 other bots, so that's why I called it 3-year cycle.
You're
4-year
working with
cycle,
bots?
and yeah, I'm working with
Are,
bots right now.
are you manufacturing alt pricing right now? It's you. It's you. It's all you,
Oh,
isn't it, OC?
it's me. No, it was Discord bots. I was doing maintenance of Discord bots that we have in Chart Prime. Like just making sure they're up and running, and I have them open. Like traditional Discord bots. But yeah, no trading bots at the moment. I do have an ongoing bot. It's doing pretty good. I mean, it gave a signal the earlier of the year, and then it haven't closed that signal, but it has given profits taken. So pretty good. It's a little complex. If you want to go check that out, it is part of the membership, lifetime membership for come on, things are just slipping out of my head. From Chart Prime. But also you can get it right now on the premium package. It lets you create some bots, and then you just pair them with your broker.
Yep.
Other than
It
that,
works pretty good.
yeah,
Works pretty good.
yeah.
Dutchy said this Pam has a Mexican accent. No, this is not Pam. This is El Pamo. Get it right. So let's go jump over to this chart, OC. I want to talk about the Dixie, because the US dollar right now versus the basket, getting a little bit of a pump here. Oddly enough, everyone thinks the dollar's safer right now than some market stuff, is what we're seeing there. And then also, I want to talk about this gap that we have. We've it looks like we've cleaned that gap out. Let me see on the daily here. Did we clean it yet? No. We still have a gap up to the top here from Friday's close of 116,965. Just so you guys know, that means that we should gap up to that. But again, as Alex O said this morning, when we get closer to the end of the cycle, these don't really matter. This one might get filled up. Well, it probably will, but this one down here might wait until later on in the cycle, towards the end here, because it doesn't. Why would it go back down to there if it doesn't have to just keep going up and then come down and clean it out later in the cycle? And we've seen that in 2021. We had one that was open for like 18 months, and finally it got picked up on the way back down. So that's what I wanted to show there. But gold, yeah, let's go pull up your chart. Let's take a look at gold, because it's gold and silver sitting at new all-time highs right now. Silver's at almost $52 an ounce. I'm glad I did not sell.
Let's go. All right. So, guys, really important to watch on what we talked about here in the structure of your oscillator. Remember that we planned for 2 entries, 1 entry at a neckline in here. We got stopped out. Well, I don't get stopped out. We just enter here and I just hold it. All right. But we have a stop loss and then we have another area of entry right here for another push back up and then continuation downwards. This is what I mean when you need to look for your oscillator, because if we start losing this area right here, the 3000, I think, or I was telling you that it was a fantastic area to go and visit the dynamic reactor for a bigger entry, right? And maybe get some ranging down there before moving or keep moving into the upside, all right? That did not happen, but look at this. It actually played out the same way that we were looking or expecting. And for that, let me just hide this. We were looking a movement to the upside, a crossing over your zero line. All right, first sucker. This is your first circle. This is important. And then the flip of the ribbon, and I was expecting the flip of the ribbon to happen on that big support right down here, and then a crossover for a re-entry breaking the resistance. All right, so let's bring up right now our oscillator. Everything happened much, much, much faster, and that's why you see the low being the first low and not the second low. So we were looking for, remember, the first movement, a movement to the upside, and then have a drop back down. We got it right here. And for that, let me just change the color of this into, I don't know, pink, I would say. And look at this. We had, oh, very poor choice of color. Nonetheless, let's go for whatever I got in here other than pink. White. All right, perfect. So going back up in here, there we go. We have our flip back down, crossing the zero line in here, right? So you notice this high happened earlier right here, all right? And then your crossover, this one happened earlier also, right? Having the flip of the ribbon, this is the important part, having your flip of the ribbon also happening earlier, but on the next or the very first important zone. Remember, flip of the ribbon at your support, that is your entry, especially if then you have a break out to the upside onto that area. Remember, then we were looking for this one to break above the zero line. We broke in here above the zero line, and boom shakalaka, off we go. We have a higher high. So what are we expecting right now? Let's bring up our predictive ranges. Our next possible targets are going to be, at this point, we're actually breaking one of our predictive ranges. So keep your eyes peeled. And I think this is the 4-hour or the chart one. Yes, it is. Where is it? Predictive ranges. Then just pass it over. What is my predictive ranges? Come on.
$5,000 gold's coming.
Let's go. And we're going to be creating. Yep.
Go ahead and finish up, but you got a class to go to at Chart Prime.
You're right. Absolutely. Yep. All right. So really quickly, we're going to be creating another set of lines. So watch for the blue line east, because most likely we're going to hit it. And the next target will be either support and loud order block at 4,000 and then a high 4,159. That's basically what I got on gold.
Awesome. Appreciate you, OC. I'm going to let you head out of here. I'm going to pull up the chart real fast and show silver. And then we're going to head over today to Crypto Blood. We're going to go follow him today. We're going to send everyone over there. So appreciate you, OC. Go do your thing, bro. If you guys haven't done so, smash the like for OC guy here bringing you guys the charts every day. Appreciate you, man.
My pleasure.
All right, guys, let's go jump over and take a look at gold, what I'm seeing here on gold real fast. Hey, that is not my chart. That's my chart. There we go. Looking at gold here right now. We did have a platinum pocket here, guys. These are done off of trend-based fibs. If you don't know, I'll show you how I've been tracking this for a while. It's a trend-based fib from this trend in the past. You can see the 3 circles there. That's where it pulls from. And it gave us phase 1, phase 2, and then phase 3. And they've played pretty freaking well. You can see bounce off of the platinum pocket, takes off to the upside, come here to the phase 2, almost got front ran here off of the golden pocket and then front ran off of the platinum pocket. Played pretty well in here on rejections, got its bump up and up it goes. Now we're sitting here with all of this pullback that we had here on last week to the 786, the phase 2, so it's 2.786, and now moving to the upside for another phase. Let's go ahead and put another line in here and let's do the 3.786. So we're going to go with 3.786. Let's put that in there. Nope, stop it. Stop it. That's what you need to do. There we go. Let's turn all this on. We're going to go 2.618. Okay. And we're going to make this gold. This is going to be gold. It's going to be gold. There we go. And then we're going to go into here and we're going to make this the 2.66, make this gold. And this is going to give us, actually, I need all of this in threes. 3, there we go. 3 point, and then 3 point. Now we're going to have a whole new golden pocket up there. And then we're going to go in also, and we're going to make another line here for the 3.786. And then the 3.887, 3.887, and we'll make both of these platinum colored. There we go. And there we go. So now let's go look and see how phase 4 is looking on this, because that's going to be where our next levels in this. But yeah, this is going to put us up into 4,200, 4,300 up here. I do think that we're going to see gold get into a ballpark of $5,000 before this is all said and done. I'm also watching silver, guys. It's at just under $52, just set a new all-time high here. By the way, if you don't know, the last time we had a silver all-time high, this level of silver, I should say, was all the way back in 2011, and we have now broken out silver in price discovery for the first time in since 2011. So for many years, many years, we are getting pretty overbought here. So don't think that we can't get a pullback. There are a lot of fair value gaps. There's a fair value gap here. There's a fair value gap here. So we do have some fair value gaps that you guys need to be aware about. We could pull back down to about $42, $43, but I would not put much on that at this point, because a lot of people are flowing in the silver. We can get a cool off on all of this, and all silver does is a little sideways ranging, and it will reset all of that. So that is all the time we got today, guys. We're about to head over and see. We can do that, Ozzy. I can put these charts in the Discord group. I got you, bro. We're going to head over to Crypto Blood. He's live right now, guys. And so appreciate all of you guys being here. Remember, if you are doing the DCA Piper plan, the altcoins, a lot of them have hit 70%. I gave the warning out this morning. They've hit that 70% band, saying take 30% profit in the couple of weeks prior to this. And so you need to apply that across the board on a lot of your alts. Like, hey, if this one's saying take profit, what's the chance that this one's going to actually go? If you're up on some stuff, you might want to take some profit. As of right now, Bitcoin is holding and some upside move here, but we are getting a lot of rejection on that 382 level. Again, I'll show that to you right here. Right there. We're getting a lot of rejection there. Also have a quantum reactor coming in there. I am going to be watching to see if this quantum reactor here, which is this moving average, if this turns red, warning. Shout out to LBC, though, because we've been watching the 52-week simple moving average here in the bull market support band with the daily dynamic reactor. And look where we came down. You guys remember these fibs from the low to high to low? These are pulled from the low back in 2018 to the high of 2021 to the low of 2022. Look at where we came and tested this wick on Friday. Perfect on the 618. Still gives me reason to believe that we are still bullish. So did not touch the 52-week either, which is historical support for us. So as of right now, cautiously optimistic on the markets. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to tune in to OC Guy at 8 p.m. tonight. There's trade setups with the OC Guy. Then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back in the wee morning hours on the Piper Academy Network with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. to break everything down for you guys and keep you in the know, because knowledge is profit at the Piper Academy. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management, peace, love, profits, and as always, Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Later.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
They don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?